Fantasy football, RSVP. So let's get right to it with week 9 of fantasy football. I love football. I love giving advice on football. Everything, go deep. Everything's going great with football. Week 9, we're picking winners. We're winning your league. Life is beautiful, and we love football. We love football, and we love it with Matthew Stafford this week. I know Galladay's out. People are like, oh, Galladay's out. TJ Hawkinson, Marvin Jones, they have a couple of other young receivers there. But the thing is, Matthew Stafford, when he looks bad, he looks bad. But when he starts to heat up and look good, he starts to look good. I really like the way I'm starting to see signs. You got to watch the game. I say this all the time. You got to watch the games. People don't listen. They just watch highlights. You can't see that, I tape these games. I don't watch them all at once, but I tape these games. I make sure I watch them elongated versions. And if you can't watch the whole game, at least watch the elongated highlights. But you really should be watching the games because you see trends that you just can't see in a box score. And what I'm seeing with Matthew Stafford, the guy's looking more confident. He's looking like, when this guy gets on a roll, he's one of the better quarterbacks out there. And I think, he has some guys we're going to talk about today, TJ Hawkinson, Marvin Jones really stepped up big last week. Galladay's going to be out, but they have some younger receivers on the team. But mostly it's not even about that. It's about Matthew Stafford. He's starting to look really good. Minnesota's not as good as they once were. No offense, like the team. As far as the secondary is concerned. And, the guy's throwing for almost 400 yards last week and 3 touchdowns. I mean, the guy's looking really good. I mean, Marvin Jones all of a sudden come alive. We're going to be talking about him in a little while. But I really, really like Matthew Stafford this week. And, look, I could say, this quarterback, that quarterback. I'm trying to pick quarterbacks that are deep dives. That's why I'm bringing up Matthew Stafford. I'm going to bring up another name. You might be a little surprised, but I'm trying to bring up names that are probably available on your waiver wire. Sometimes people ask me, why are you bringing up Matthew Stafford? Why? I'm going to bring up Drew Lock, okay, in a second. And people are, why are you bringing up these guys? Because these are the guys that are going to be available on your waiver wire. I'm not going to talk about Herbert and Lamar and, Big Ben and all these other quarterbacks that I know aren't available on your waiver wire. So that's, we got to understand when I'm giving these picks, I'm giving picks and I'm choosing people weekly because people are like, what about this guy? What about this guy? I'm like, that guy's not available on your waiver wire, buddy. So I'm talking about waiver picks that I think are available. So you have to understand, you might question some of the things I come up, but or picks I pick, but you have to understand that these are people I think that are going to be around on your waiver wire. And that's how we do things here. Everyone can pick all the best players. I mean, what kind of waiver wire list is that going to be? So I do think Matthew Stafford is probably available on your waiver wire. And if he is, even with Galladay out, Galladay was out last week, early in the game, and Stafford looked great. TJ Hawkinson looked great. Their young receivers look great. Marvin Jones looked great. So it doesn't matter. When Stafford gets hot, okay, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I mean, even last year, before he got injured, people were talking about him like being at the very, very top. He got injured, and now this year it took a little while to get it going. He's gotten it going. So, we like him. Now, I really like Drew Lock for a couple of reasons. Okay, the guy threw 3 touchdowns, 248 yards last week, something like that. But the guy's been injured. And he was looking really good last year at the end of the season. He was starting to look good this year before he got injured. And, a lot of people ask me about Noah Fant, for tight end. If he's available, definitely. We're not going to talk about him this week. We've talked about him other weeks. But, his numbers are down because Drew Lock's been out. Then Drew Lock gets back in. He's got to get his sea legs under him and start, feeling the flow again. So Fant's numbers haven't, gone up yet. But I think Nick Fant, if he's available on your waiver wire, a tight end, I think he's going to have a strong finish. Okay, but we're not talking about him today. Talking about Drew Lock going against Atlanta's, go deep, Atlanta's defense. And I like Atlanta, great team, but I call it like I see it. I call it straight. Their defense is not playing well. The offense is starting to come alive. I mean, this team should have won 3 in a row. Okay, and who knows? They could have made some noise. Might be a little too late for them, but they're starting, to look really good again on offense. But I really, I like Drew Lock going against their defense, Atlanta's defense. I think he's playing really well. I think it'll probably be somewhat of a higher scoring game, even though the Broncos have an underrated, defense. I do think there'll be points to be had there. And I do think Atlanta will be winning that game. They're starting to play really well. And if, Denver's got to play a game, you got to call game scripts. I listen to a lot. I love listening to fantasy football podcasts. I listen all the time. Just because, maybe someone has an idea I didn't think of or an angle. Oh, that's very interesting. I learn from everyone, and I cheer for everyone. I think everyone's amazing. And, I just want to say that you got to talk about game scripts a lot more. People really don't. But, something like Atlanta, the way they're playing, I think they're going to be ahead. Also, there'll be a lot of garbage time points at the end for Denver. You got to think of these things. Let's talk about running backs. Zach Moss, okay? Guys, looks like he's the emerging back. They've been talking about it all year. Zach Moss taking over. Zach Moss taking over. Zach Moss taking over. And, it looks like Zach Moss is taking over. So Zach Moss. The guy's, doing really well. I think he had 80 plus yards, 2 touchdowns, almost 15, carries. When you see that, they've been talking about it all year, that he was going to be. I think Singletary was just doing well in his absence. So they, tried to transition it, but it looks like he's really emerging, Zach Moss. I think he's going to have a strong finish. All year long, I've been telling people it's going to be Zach Moss. It's going to be in the draft. It's going to be Zach Moss. No one believes me, okay? It's Zach Moss, okay? It's Zach Moss time. So you got to put him on your team. As far as, I really like what's going on there with Zach Moss. Nothing more needs to be said. As far as the other running back, always mention 2 running backs. I think Chase Edmonds is available on your waiver wire. Now, he may not be getting the carries, but, I also give you a little advice. Read the local papers of each team. Okay, they give away a lot more information. A lot of times they're getting quotes from coaches, not just the coach, but the offensive line coach, the quarterback coach, the running back coach. The local papers cover a lot more. And one thing they're talking about, in Arizona, Chase Edmonds, is they want to get him more involved. That he has an explosive ability. They've been talking about it all year. And if you watch the games, again, you got to watch the games. I'll say it again. You got to watch the games. So that's 6 words. You got to watch the game. Is very, very important, because what's happening with Chase Edmonds is he just looks like the better back. No disrespect to anybody. He looks like the better back. I mean, he's got explosive ability, and it's just a matter of time till you see his carries start to go up. You're going to see it soon. Okay, I'm telling you. But the guy's getting 5, 6, 7 catches a game, and every time the guy touches the ball, even running the ball, I'm like, I watch the games, I'm like, the better back. Looks like the more explosive back. And I keep saying it. If I'm seeing that, believe me, the coaches are seeing that. I think Chase Edmonds he might be a rare find that you might find might be the lead back at the end of the year. I'm not saying he will, okay? Not everything I say comes true. Even Michael Jordan misses a shot from time to time, okay? So, but I really like Chase Edmonds. Going against Miami. Miami's defense a little bit better, but I mean, this guy's getting 4 or 5 catches a game. In PPR. Oh, by the way, let me just say, I'm more of a redraft league PPR podcaster, and the reason why I say that is you can't be a lot of everything, okay, in life. You can't be I'm a redraft, I'm a standard scoring podcaster. I'm a PPR podcaster. A dynasty keeper league dynasty podcast. No, you got to be a podcaster in one instance, because they're all different, okay? So I'm a redraft PPR podcaster. That's my specialty. That's where I'm in. I know about the other stuff, but I really like to stay in my lane and like to specialize in one area. Okay, you could take a lot of my information and apply it to what you're doing, just as you understand that all the advice, everything I'm giving is specialized. And I'm a believer that every single podcaster out there should be specialized in one area. You can't give advice I'll say, well, you could use this for, you could use player predictions and player analysis for any league. Okay, but when you're, talking about certain players and redraft and standard scoring, PPR, points per reception are two totally different things. I could be recommending a player that is in PPR that's, oh, no, don't play him in standard. But I can't make a video like that, okay? I could be talking about a player that's in a redraft league, meaning each year you redraft, and you're talking about a player, but you're just talking about him for this year. You don't think that this guy's going to amount to anything next year. So when you talk about, put him on your roster and you're in a keeper league or a dynasty league and you plan on keeping him, but I'm giving advice on, I think he's going to play well for the next 4 or 5 weeks, but next year he's probably done, on that team. Or let's say there's a player that I don't think will get, a ton of play. We were talking about Chase Edmonds. Hopefully he gets in. They start to really showcase him, but in the keeper league, a dynasty league, I think Chase Edmonds is going to be a great pick for next year, okay, as well as Zach Moss for next year. But I think they also have a really good chance of being productive this year. So in a keeper, dynasty, a league like that, I think those guys are going to be great. As far as, banking on them, putting up huge numbers in the next few weeks, I don't know. They're a bit of a stash. So you can't be a I see people, I podcast, do dynasty, I do that. No, you got to specialize in one, okay? And mine is redraft and PPR. You could use all my advice, and apply it, but you have to adjust it to your league if it's being based on redraft PPR, okay? I just want to be clear on that. Got to specialize in one thing. It's very, very important, okay? So, because then even if you tell people that, then they know how to make the adjustments. But you just can't give like a one-size-fits-all, advice, because they're all different, okay? So it's very, very important. Now, as far as wide receivers go, I told you Marvin Jones, not a lot more needs to be said. It's Marvin Jones, okay? There's no one else to throw the football to other than the tight end, TJ Hawkinson. You got to like Marvin Jones here. I really like him. Had a big week last week, touchdown, running. All of a sudden, he's Marvin Jones. People were like saying, what happened to Marvin Jones? What happened to Marvin Jones is Stafford wasn't being Stafford, okay? And Galladay was taking over as the lead back. So it's very, very important to know that. So that's very important. But Marvin Jones, now that Galladay's out, he could still catch. He could still run routes. He's a good player. And he's going to be a good Week 9 player. Not a lot needs to be said. Marvin Jones is Marvin Jones. And Stafford when Stafford. Now, anyone who's watched the Giant game, a couple of things. We're going to talk about their defense. We're going to talk about Sterling Shepard. We're going to talk about Daniel Jones. This guy could flat out play. He's going against teams like the Rams. They could have won that. They should have won that game. Okay? He's going against, they say, a resurgent Eagles team because they won a couple of games. I don't believe that. I'm watching the game. The team looks sloppy. Okay? The team looks sloppy. And, no offense to them. As players on the team, I call it like I see it. If it's good, it's good. It's bad, it's bad. They look sloppy. Giants should have won that game. I watched the Bucks game. Oh my gosh, I don't want to say anything about refs and stuff like that, but they got the benefit of the call, the Bucks, numerous times, got the benefit of the call. And, I always say, you can't even talk about the refs because if the refs determine an outcome, you don't deserve to win. Everyone hears me say that, okay? And it's true. But the Giants should have won that game. And they're talking about the Bucks being the best team in all of NFL. Okay, like they're going to the Super Bowl, and the Giants had them. Okay, and again, you got to watch the game. That game was close and all. That game shouldn't have been close. Daniel Jones 3 times had a guy, and the guy was gone. And one time the receiver slowed down. The other time the receiver lost it in the lights or something, and they were gone. And then the other time he just missed him by inches, and the guy was gone. That game could have easily been a blowout. I mean, literally by inches. And then they got the benefit of a few calls. All of a sudden, the Giants are a decent football team. Okay? And they're not with Barkley. Every week, these guys are playing decent teams, and every week they're in the game. You want to know why? Because the defense is playing well. We're going to talk about the Giants' defense. At some point, it's week 9. You got to start saying, Giants were supposed to not be a good team with Barkley out, and they're in every game. Okay, and they pretty much held the entire offense up until late in that game. This big, Brady offense in check. And, the running game was pretty much in check. And the Giants have been holding, people's running games in check. The Rams, the Bucs. Their running game's not bad. So, and the reason why I'm bringing up is Sterling Shepard had a couple of catches. He had 8 catches, 94 yards, whatever. He could have had 12 catches for 180. And the guy's starting to get his, things. And Daniel Jones, let me tell you something. You mark my words. Daniel Jones is a star. Okay? He hasn't had 2 training camps. The first training camp, he was the backup, so he got no first team reps. This year, because of the, pandemic, he didn't get any reps. And he's only he's only played 1 year, and now it's his second year, halfway through. This guy in his 3rd, 4th year he's already, I see the signs. He's just got to learn not to fumble, throw interceptions. He's got to learn to throw the ball away and get the ball out a little quicker. Typical of a young quarterback. But this guy's a stud. Okay? Clutch 4th down plays. And I'm telling you right now, Daniel Jones might be a guy you might want to put on your team as a quarterback. Because the Giants team, Sterling Shepard, okay, Slayton, Golden Tate. They're throwing this ball around. Slayton could also be a waiver wire pickup. But I'd like Shepard because I think Shepard is a little bit more of a better route runner and a little bit more targets. Slayton definitely is a little bit more boom or bust. Guy gets open. Slayton guy's going to be good. But I'd probably go Sterling Shepard. All right, and I think he's a great pickup. We talked about tight end. We talked about T.J. Hawkinson. T.J. Hawkinson is a good tight end. Okay, he was good last year. It's not like, T.J., where did he come from? He was good last year. Okay, he was good last year, and now that Stafford is starting to get hot, which he does, he gets hot. Don't forget the guy was injured last year. It takes a while. His back. Takes a while to get back in the swing of things. And when he's on, he's on. People are talking about him being MVP the way he started the season off last year and certain seasons. And then the injuries come in. But he's a good quarterback. And he's clutch in 4th quarter. Okay, and we saw that with a couple of games this year. One against Atlanta, I believe. Okay, so T.J. Hawkinson, the guy's starting to get a lot of catches. Galladay's out. The guy runs decent routes. Stafford likes throwing to him. So I really like T.J. Hawkinson. Not a lot needs to be said there. Let's go to defense. Okay? Giants defense. You're holding the Rams down. You're holding the Bucs down. A resurgent Eagles team. You're holding them down. The Giant gut-wrenching losses. I'm watching Giant games and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like I'm a New York guy, okay? I'm from New York. New York City is in the house. New York City's in the house. Go deep. What I'm saying is, I like the way the Giants defense is playing. And I have them going against Washington. And Washington's got some issues. They're trying to figure their stuff out. Okay? They're kind of all over the place. I like what I'm seeing with the Giants. Some people play Washington's defense. Yeah, they have a good defensive line in some other areas, but I'm sorry, I like the Giants here. I think the Giants going to, win this games easily. Okay, and Giants going to make some noise. They win a couple of games. They got Washington, they got the Bengals, they got the Eagles. They win 3 in a row. This team might be a game out of first place. Okay. It's the NFC East we're talking about. NFC East. Anything goes. You could have a losing record and go to the Super Bowl, which the Giants have done before. Okay? I like the Giants' defense against Washington. They're playing well, the defensive line. Bradbury, the secondary cornerbacks, they're playing well. The Bucs they didn't know what to do. I looked at Brady's face on the sideline. He looked confused. He was like he couldn't believe how well this team was playing. Giants always play well against Brady, but that's okay. I'm also, I love Brady, greatest ever, maybe. Great quarterback. But boy, Giants just play the best ball against that guy. Anyway, he knows it. He knows what I'm talking about. All right, so I really like the Giants' defense. They're just playing well. They're even rushing the passer. They're doing things. Kicker, why not go with Ryan Suckup? This guy is available on so many people's waiver wire. Ryan Suckup. He's going to get his chances. Now we got AB coming in. We have AB coming in. Gronk's looking like Gronk. AB's coming in. Evans, Godwin. I mean, this team, and they have a good defense, getting a lot of opportunities. I mean, they have decent running backs. This team's stacked. And they said AB is coming in phenomenal shape. Phenomenal shape. The coach is like, I can't believe the shape this guy's in. The guy practices hard. He practiced all winter long with a bunch of receivers. Receivers were actually coming to him for him to train them. He's in tremendous shape. People, we'll see, AB, he's kind of washed. He's not washed, okay? It's AB. You're going to see. AB is AB. It's not BA, it's AB. He's going to do really well, okay? Really well. There'll be a lot of mouths to feed, but he's going to do really well. And I like Ryan Suckup. People realize Ryan Suckup's missed one field goal from 50 yards all year. 50-plus yards. I don't think you can even count that. He's actually hit every field goal other than a 50-yarder play. And he's hit 50s too. The guy's like automatic. I mean, he looks like Gostkowski. I mean, the guy's just like boom, 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 boom. There's going to be plenty of opportunities there, plenty of field goals. Okay, I like Ryan Suckup. New Orleans isn't terrible at keeping people out of the end zone. All right, defense is a little underrated. It's a good pick. Kicker. Okay, let me say a couple things. If you want one-on-one advice from the man, me, Dean Curry. Okay, the man. Win your league. I will win your league. I'm telling you right now. I'll win it. I'll win it. Go on my website, fantasyfootballrsvp.com. Fantasyfootballrsvp.com. Join the Knights and Dames, okay, Fantasy Football Club. Join the Knights and Dames Fantasy Football Club. It's a VIP club. VIP. You get special videos, which are coming out now that we're in week 8, week 9. Special videos, special lists, special inside information stuff. I mean, I share so much information complimentary for free on my social media platform, on Twitter, @FootballRSVP, @FootballRSVP. Say it again, @FootballRSVP. I give so many videos, lists, this, that. But now I'm going to be putting on things like special trade targets with a few weeks ago with trades. Put my flex list, which I do around week 8, week 9. Flex, so you know which person to pick. Top 100. I'm going to top 200. Top 100. I'm going to do that tomorrow, next day. I'm going to be doing deep dive where I'm going to run through the list of I'm going to really look at my waiver wire list in my hand, and I'm literally going to read it off. Okay, who I think in the deep dive, one name after another, wide receivers, one name after running backs, go right down the list of every single person available. At least 20 names, 15, 20 names deep. It's unheard. Nobody does this. Okay, going to do it. You pay $7.77 a week, a month. It's like $1.75 a week. You get to speak to me in a 7-minute call. $7.77 to win your league. It's nothing. But you support the channel, you support what we do here, and you become part of the Knights and Dames Fantasy Football VIP Club. Okay, VIP Club. All right? And you get a lot with it. You get to speak to me live on Zoom for 7 minutes. You get to send me your roster. I'll look at it, say, you have to do roster changes. You get to email me your roster, and I'll look at it and tell you who you should target in trades, all right? Or, sell these guys, buy these guys low, sell these guys. I win. I'm a winner, okay? It's what I do. I win, okay? And I will have inside information about injuries, personal trainer, 30 years, okay? I know injuries. They don't level on the injury report. I know injuries, okay? I'll know more than most, being a trainer all these years, being a licensed massage therapist all these years, a rehabilitation specialist. I'll have a good inside look as to what injuries do and what they prevent the player from doing, okay, based on the information they get. Just gives you a little bit more. All right, and you'll get to be on our Facebook chat room. I'll ask a question each week. You get to interact with other people in the chat room. And after 6 months of supporting the channel and being a part of the Knights and Dames VIP Club, you become an official. Instead of being an apprentice, the first 6 months you become an official member for supporting what we do here. And you get a plaque, or you get a certificate, and you could frame it. You know, it would be like Dean Curry, VIP member, the Knights and Dames Fantasy Football Club. You put on your wall, oh, I belong to the Knights and Dames Fantasy Football Club. I'm a VIP member. I get all the inside information. I get, you know, all this special, you know, speak to other people in fantasy football, you know, on Facebook. You know, I get all these special videos, all these special inside information, deep deeps. No, nobody does this. Dean Curry's a winner and part of the club. It's part of the community. It's growing exponentially everywhere, okay? And you get to walk around, put it right on your wall. Oh, I'm part of VIP Club. People are like, oh, you're part of VIP Club? How do you get part of that club? Well, you know, I don't know. You know, I'm part of VIP Club. Maybe I'll let you know. Maybe I won't. You know, it's a special club. Helps me win my league, okay? Knights and Danes Fantasy Football Club, a VIP member. I mean, what gets better than that? You get to speak to the man, all right? So go on there. You have a F Football RSVP, Fantasy Football RSVP Instagram. We're on 12 radio stations now, growing. I think 16 or 18 websites. We have our own sports network that we're starting on TV in the next couple of weeks. 24 hours. It's a health network. It's a health, sports, and hospitality network. I'm Italian. You know I can cook. Okay. And there's going to be cooking shows and health shows and fantasy football shows, and it's going to be 24-hour television network. That's coming. And we're coming at you with everything. Okay? Everything. And I just want to wish everyone the best. Life is great, even during this crazy times with the pandemic. Life is amazing. You're amazing. You're going to win your league. You are the best at playing fantasy football. You have an angel, a guardian angel on your shoulder, Dean Curry, every week, talking about what you need to win. And life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. I love fantasy football. I love getting people to win fantasy football. I love people being part of the community. Build the community together. Be part of the VIP Fantasy Football Club, Knights and Dames Fantasy Football Club. Got to do it. Okay? I'm Dean Curry, Fantasy Football, RSVP. So have yourself a wonderful day.